Deep Shot Podcast, Season 4, Episode 37. Cardo Allen.
Okay, Ricardo Allen. I'll be honest, this one took a little bit of research on my end. These have really been kicking me, but Troy Polamalu, 37.
He wore 37, really?
I don't think that's correct.
I thought he was a 43.
It's 43.
Okay, well, why is Google telling me that he was 37? Hold on.
Maybe he wore it for a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, let's see. Troy Polamalu, 37.
Minka Fitzpatrick wear 37? Or is that 27?
I don't know, but Troy Polamalu.
Hey, you're definitely right.
Well, anyway, not Troy Polamalu. We'll go with Ricardo Allen for today. The 30s are tough. 40s are going to be even tougher.
Man, I'm mad at myself.
There's got to be better, something better than what we're cooking with.
That's embarrassing.
Let's just move on.
Doak Walker.
Doak Walker. That's a huge name. That's a huge name. Shout out. I think Jeremiah Love is the one that won that this year. Shout out to him. Welcome to another episode of the Deep Shot Podcast. We have got a jam-packed episode. We've got NFL Week 15 in the books. We're going to talk about all of that, even including the Thursday night game I was at in Tampa. But when the Falcons finally got a win, Kirk Cousins, Kirk Simber right now. I mean, Kyle Pitts is alive. We're going to talk about that. And because of that, we're going to do a little uniform ranking in the NFL because we had two great ones on Thursday, and we've been inspired by that. We've got Players of the Week, Deep Thoughts, Heisman ceremony to talk about a lot. And we're going to get all into that in just a second. Before that, I want to remind everybody to follow on Instagram and TikTok, Deep Shot Sports on Instagram and TikTok, over 2,000 followers on Instagram, a little over 1150 on TikTok. So let's get there. Subscribe on the YouTube. I'm going to be posting a lot more of our clips from the podcast just on the YouTube. So little segments. The other day I posted our NFL preview on there. So make sure you're subscribed, following. And before we get into talking about catching up on some of that Michigan stuff that we talked about last episode, make sure you download Sharp Bets on the App Store. Jen Piacenti, #1 sports handicapper in 2024 and 2025. You download the app, even if you got an Android on the Google Play. You download the app, turn on the push notifications, free trial, free 30 days, and boom, you get all of her picks right before the 1 o'clock slates, the afternoon, night games, Monday nights, whatever you want. Sharp Bets on the Apple Store and Google Play. Okay, the little cleanup from Wednesday, which Wednesday's episode, a lot of people listened. Want to say thank you guys for doing that. I know the Sharon Moore news was hitting heavy, so we had a lot of listeners. But when we were doing it, it was fresh. Not a lot of things had been, discovered in the story. Ever since we all sat down and talked a couple days ago, Sharon Moore was arrested, basically went to that chick's house and tried to kill her and maybe kill himself. Who knows? Also, it came out that the school knew about this for quite some time, like months, like multiple reporters were saying that. Just general thoughts or anything you guys want to say about what we didn't get to say last episode about this whole fiasco that got even crazier than it already was.
I mean, just absolutely insanity. And I will say this. I cannot defend what this man is doing, right? You're married with multiple kids at home and you're making the decisions you're making. But it's hard not to have some sort of, I don't know if sympathy is the right word, but just like kind of feel for the guy. I don't know if y'all saw that video of him like in jail. And it's like, man, this guy was coaching in the Michigan-Ohio State game 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, and now he's sitting in jail. It's crazy. So let me ask you this. So I think we have the story. Me and you, Garrison, have different stories. So did he go to the girl's house, or I thought he went to the assistant coach's house?
Maybe. What are you hearing, Caleb?
No, I think he went to his house first, threatened to kill himself, then drove to her place and kicked the door down.
Because I did hear that he also was maybe threatening to kill one of the assistant coaches that ratted on him and was saying you ruined my life. And
I think that is the commentary about her, what he was saying to her, because she ruined his life. And it's even more, the whole thing's sad, but even more as the details come out, it paints a bigger picture. But apparently he fired her after giving her a raise earlier this year, and then she broke up with him on Monday, and then she started ratting, and it became a whole big thing to a point where he lost his mind. And we were talking about it whoa, that happened, but then he proceeded to completely ruin his life. I mean, it could have been salvageable after, say whatever it comes out. And I mean, coaches have survived worse scandals, I think, sometimes, or at least you'll be able to live in the free world. But now he's got felonies on his record from not only making one poor decision, but then reacting to getting, your consequences for the next decision in the worst way possible. I mean, there's so many jokes pulled on Twitter about apparently he pulled butter knives when he was trying to threaten to kill himself and others. So, and they found him at a church. Like his wife gave up the location to the cops for them to arrest him. It's just crazy stuff, crazy stuff. And, in my opinion, I'm looking for Michigan, like administrators. Somebody probably needs to lose a job, especially if you let it unravel the way this thing has at this point, where you knew about it for months. You knew you were going to fire him. You didn't say a word until after the Ohio State game. And I think I said on the last podcast, like, I'm not sure if it would have changed whether it came out or not if they did, but I'm starting to believe if they would have won that game and Michigan was 10-2, the win over Ohio State, like,
Going into the playoff.
I don't know if they give the same news to the world or they don't have the same reasoning to pull the rug out from underneath Sherrod.
I wonder, but I'll also say this. It happened, the day after National Signing Day? Were they just trying to keep it hush-hush so all of their signees would just go ahead and commit and sign the paperwork and bang, you're in it for a year and there's no place for them to go?
Which is
Yeah,
good
they
'cause
definitely were looking at what happened to Penn State and, in their own way, tried to make sure that they were on the safe side of that.
yeah, it is. And, when we talk about who's gonna be the next head coach, all weekend there was, the DeBoer, apparently he's put out a statement that, he's not gonna do that. Kenny Dillingham, I think same deal. Right now, the favorite I'm looking at Cowsheet. This is the only way I can find it. Jed Fish right now has got like 50% of the vote to be the next head coach in Michigan. Which, I mean, poor Washington. I mean, talk about a stepping stone school, just getting everything ripped out from underneath them. What do you, Caleb? You're a coach. What do you think? Do you think any other name other than Jed Fish at this point?
I mean, I'm still looking at Jesse Minter, but the whole thing, the situation is so messy to me. I wouldn't be shocked if they just stick it out with an interim for at least a little bit, just because it's going to be tough to, one, hire somebody that wants to be there, and two, convince them that they're not going to have any like penalties or troubles because the brand is being tarnished. Like, this is the most penalized, and they got the consequences for the most violations over the last couple of years. You got the Stallions thing, you got this now. I mean, they had recruiting violations with Harbaugh, even in COVID before all of that. I mean, it's a tarnished little brand right now, and you can say whatever you want to about it being the Big M, and it is Michigan. I just don't see somebody jumping from a good situation like DeBoer talking about him jumping from a good situation at Bama to going into that. Like, whatever the hire is going to be, you kind of already missed a boat on all the good ones, and whoever taking it next is going to have their work cut out because a lot of those players that signed on, there's a good chance that they just jump in the portal once it comes open after spring.
Yeah, and isn't there a rule now that like if a coach gets fired, even like if you sign, like you have a 30-day window, or is that the rule?
Think that that window opens up January 1st, but I'm not sure if it'll apply to somebody that just freshly signed.
Okay, interesting. All right, we just want to do some cleanup on that. In other news, Fernando Mendoza did win the Heisman last night. Just a couple things about the Heisman. One, Fernando Mendoza pretty much ran away with it, which seemed inevitable. Diego Pavio came in second, Jeremiah Love third. Interestingly enough, Jacob Rodriguez getting more first place votes than Julian Sand. That was just pretty wild to me. And we talked about it last episode. Gunnar Stockton got seventh in this Heisman race as well. So, any takeaways from the Heisman ceremony or any of those votes?
Yeah, I'll just say this. I'm happy for Mendoza. Seems like a really good guy. 13-0, Big Ten chance, had a good season. This is like the weakest Heisman field of all time. I saw his numbers next to Shadur Sanders' numbers from last year, and it was like 15 less touchdowns, like 1,200, like kind of really eye-opening. And then there was the stats, a shout out to whoever posted on the Deep Shot Sports account, because I didn't know this, that Johnny Manziel
Me.
had more rushing attempts and yards than Jeremiah Love this year. I mean, it's incredible. It's incredible.
It does feel like kind of wrong that people like Ashton Genty did not win the award in years prior, and that's just the most recent one off the top of my head. I'm sure you can go back the last 10 years, like, oh, he didn't really win the Heisman, and you give it to guys like Mendoza. And I'm not saying, look, he's deserving. It's a yearly award, so you have to give it to somebody. I mean, they couldn't just been like, well, we don't think anybody's due for it. Statistically, I thought him or Pavi were the only two. And, Jeremiah Love, I don't know, maybe he got some more touches in some games where they were blowing people out. But there's not the same level of greatness in college football, I feel like, or just like player success. I think we talked about this on this pod before. Like, you're not going to see people just be record breakers anymore. I don't think it takes too much. People are playing too quick. They don't necessarily learn and know the game either. Mendoza is like the fourth or fifth straight transfer to win the Heisman
Yeah,
too.
4th.
So that's crazy.
With
It's
Bryce
just a new
Young
age.
to not be a transfer. Yeah,
Mm.
I mean that's always. And I think about last year when he was transferring, how Georgia was big on getting Fernando Mendoza. I remember those reports. Well, could have been, but I'm glad with who we got. No doubt. His speech, Mendoza, that was authentic. That guy's got a wild voice, but an authentic guy, hard not to root for. Seems like a real good guy. So congrats to him for that. A couple other wrap up from Saturday. We had the Army Navy game. I'm not sure if you guys watched any of that, but an awesome ending from Navy. Um, they had a 4th and goal at like the 7-yard line after they had a 1st and goal at the 1, and they fumbled it. Their quarterback's lip was bleeding through his helmet. His hand was bleeding. And they were able to get a 4th and down, like 5 wide, maybe going 5 wide, and hit a slant to go up 1, and then did a 4th and 1 to get a stop and win the game. So shout out to Navy there. It was the first time in Navy's history that they've won back-to-back. They've had 10 win seasons back-to-back years. So shout out to Navy then. And then the Cricket Celebration Bowl. Not sure if you guys saw that. 4 overtimes or 4 overtimes. Sound right? It was 40-38. I think it was 4 overtimes. It was 4 overtimes. And SC State comes back, beats Prairie View A&M here in Atlanta. And then the bucked up LA Bowl. Washington just put a big old spanking on Boise State. Did you guys watch any of those games?
I watched like the last 2 minutes of the Army Navy game because it was on at the restaurant I was on. And my only takeaway was the quarterback fumbling the ball and then catching it in the air and extending to get the first down. Give him the Heisman. How about that? Just for that play. I know it had already been like given out at that point. Just retroactively give it to him because that was an awesome play.
That was a cool play. The jerseys look good. It's always good to see, the president show up for the coin toss, even though he's got some odd form on that coin toss.
What a toss!
I don't even think
it was a toss. I mean, he just.
I bet the coin didn't even flip over.
I don't think it did.
That was crazy. Well, all right. And Tuesday, we got a couple bowl games coming up. Troy and Jacksonville State, Salute to Veterans Bowl coming up on Tuesday. And on Wednesday, we've got Old Dominion versus South Florida in the Cure Bowl, and Louisiana, Delaware in the 68 Ventures Bowl on Wednesday as well. You guys looking forward to those?
Definitely looking forward to Tuesday. That game right there is 2 teams that made their conference championship game this year, and they're going to go ahead and square off early in December right here for bowl season. So looking forward to see who's going to win that game. Don't think there's going to be many opt-outs like you would see at the higher levels. You usually don't see that much at the group of 5 unless they're planning on getting in the portal. So pretty good football teams. Jacksonville State's got a good running back. He might be one of those guys that ends up making a name for himself from a small school one of these days.
Right. I hope Delaware wins a ball game. That'd be cool.
Yeah, the Blue Hens.
Be cool.
Delaware. If you look at Delaware's jerseys next to Michigan's, you really can't tell a difference. I don't know if you guys have done that.
Less scandal there too.
Well, we're gonna get into NFL Week 15 here in just a moment. As we're recording, some of the games are wrapping up. So, want to just back it up for a second and talk about the Thursday night game. The Falcons and Bucks played. Rise up. Falcons get the dub in Tampa Bay in the most un-Falcon way possible, by the way. Down 14 points in the 4th quarter. Went for 2 twice. Didn't get either one of them and had a chance to win the game. I just want to say, Tampa Bay, they did some cool things. They had a drone show, which I really thought was neat. I thought the whole, when they get a first down, they go first down Tampa, and then everybody goes Bay, which pretty cool. And the fans, let me just say, I was in section 313, so it wasn't, that close to anything. And let me just say, it's not the highest class of people I was sitting around. Shout out to the guy next to me, good 300 pounds, did not know what deodorant was, had about 3 plates of nachos. I mean, there was some, hardcore people in there. Shout out to the guy about 3 rows in front of me that was a Falcons fan wearing a Michael Vick jersey, had the chain, the Falcon chain and everything. And he was talking mad shit the whole game. He had shirts thrown at him, cups thrown at him. I mean, it was brutal. And that guy got the moment of his life for the Falcons to win that game 29-28. And an awesome jersey matchup.
Awesome jersey matchup. Probably one of the best. One of the best. I mean, the creamsicle, I don't have much good things to say about Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but the uniforms are sweet. I mean, the creamsicles are really sweet, and I love when we were our throwbacks as well. But you're right. I mean, that was the most un-Falcons like way to win a game. I was very close to just turning the game off and going to sleep when we were down by 2 scores, but I just feel like we need to talk about Kyle Pitts. Kyle freaking Pitts, 11 catches, 166 yards, 2 touchdowns. 3 touchdowns, excuse me, 3 touchdowns, had the game-winning touchdown, or not the game-winning touchdown, but the last touchdown we scored, a really big touchdown, a very big touchdown. It's just a huge game for him, but it's also a little frustrating that we're now in year 5 and like we're finally seeing what we were kind of thinking we were going to see out of Kyle Pitts 5 years ago when we drafted him number 4 overall ahead of Jamar Chase. But yeah, no, it was exciting to see. Kirk Cousins looks like he just completely owns the city of Tampa Bay, just owns the Bucks in any given situation. He is gonna have his way. But yeah, I mean, it was a good win. It was a good win. So I don't know. It's just frustrating. It just more than anything, it's just so frustrating.
The Falcons are back once they're eliminated from the playoff.
Uh-huh.
And 19 penalties, and we won the game with the most. It was the most penalties by a team since like the Browns like a while ago. But Caleb, any thoughts about the game real quick?
The penalties is the part that stuck out to me when I watched it. I thought it was hilarious. The game, and I stayed up to watch it. I don't think it ended until like 11:30. I mean, it was a very late night in Tampa compared to what some of these NFL games usually go to. I feel like 10:45, 10:30 is usually about right for a night game. And you bleed it all the way. Like there was 10 minutes left in the fourth quarter and it was like 11:15. So tough watch for folks that had to go to work the next day, you know. I didn't have Friday off, and these refs really need to start keeping the laundry put up a little bit. But I think they're the first team to like have 19 penalties, and other team have 1 or 2, and they won the game. And also, I feel like Raheem, a couple questionable things from Raheem in this game. First of all, the halftime situation, but I want to keep it on the field before we get to that. Going for 2 at the end of the game, like the first time they scored in the first quarter or in the fourth quarter, I felt like hurt them way more because it was 20-28, and then they decided to go for 2. I just didn't understand the logic behind that, but luckily they survived it. And then, yeah, Raheem, what are we doing? You're at work. Why are we kissing Andrew Whitworth at halftime?
Oh,
let me
smear the
start.
queer. Smear the queer.
Yeah, and Bijan saying smear the queer. That was also quite bold of him. The analytics nerds always say when you score that touchdown down 14, you're supposed to go for 2 because if you get it, then you just have to kick the extra point. I find it dumb. I find it stupid because you don't get that first time. There's so much pressure on that second 2-point conversion. I think you just kick the field, you kick the extra point, just keep it moving. Yeah, the kissing of Andrew Whitworth was not something I was expecting, especially when we're like, I mean, man, how many penalties we had in the first half? Like 11, and then we finished the game with it was like 20, 21 penalties in the whole game. Like, brother, like we were up by 1 point at halftime, so I'm glad you're happy. But I need you to get in. I need you to get into the locker room and start talking to these guys about committing less penalties. I mean, geez.
Well, at the end of the day, Falcons got a big win. They do own the Tampa Bay Bucks, you could say. I mean, they've won at least 3 of the last 4 against them. So that was nice to walk out of on Thursday night. But like I mentioned, it was an awesome jersey matchup. So before we review the rest of the NFL Week 15 slate that's wrapping up here in front of our eyes, I wanted to have a little draft. All right, the creamsicles, the Falcons throwback. There's great NFL jerseys all around. So we decided we're going to do a NFL uniform draft here between us 3. And you guys are going to vote at home on who wins the draft here. So how do we establish who goes first?
That's a great question. Here, I'm going to.
I think it should be I go last because your team is behind ours in, season overall in the NFL.
Okay. All right, whatever. Yeah.
Okay, are we going snake?
Snake draft.
Snake. How many rounds are we doing?
5.
5 rounds? Okay.
5 rounds. So 5 rounds, NFL uniforms, not just the jerseys. Wow, I didn't want to. I'm kind of nervous having the first pick.
Yeah, the first pick. You don't want to be there.
Okay, 5 rounds. Shit, this is tough. I'm just going to go with the Falcons throwback for number 1 overall. I'm just going to go with it. I don't think it's going to get back to me. I'm going to definitely leave out some good ones, but I think that'll hold true for the fans a little bit, the crowd. So I'm just going to go Falcons throwback number 1. I did not want to have the first pick. I'm damn it. whatever. All right, that's
Well,
my first one.
there are so many good options.
There
There are
are.
so many good options. And number 2 is a tough one too, because I'm Seahawks one. We go with Kelly Green. I'm gonna go with the Eagles Kelly Green unis. Really nice because it goes with the helmet as well. And also, like, have you ever seen that Mark Wahlberg movie where he plays for the Eagles?
Replacements? Is that it?
Is it
No,
the
that's not it.
Replacements?
No, it's like the man. I can't.
It might
No, the
be the
replacements is
Replacements.
no. The replacements is Keanu Reeves. The one with Mark Wahlberg, he's like the special teams like dude
Yeah.
that tried out for the team. That's a totally different movie. I can't think of it. That
Well, in either one of those movies, they wear the Kelly Greens, and it's pretty. So give me Kelly Green. I hope my second gets
I
back
had
to
that
me.
one on my list. Caleb?
okay. All right, my first jersey pick is going to be the retro Seahawks jersey. That is a excellent jersey. Seen it a couple times this year, in fact, already, and it is always a good looking one. And to go back to back, I'm going with the Detroit Lions all black jersey as my number 2 pick.
Dude, okay, so I'm gonna be honest. I thought about the Lions all black. I just don't really love it. And I really don't like the retro Seahawks either. So I'm glad you took those.
I
But
like the retro Seahawks.
I knew the Seahawks one was coming. I knew
Yeah.
somebody was taking it, but I knew it also wasn't gonna be me. All right.
I'm gonna go with the Denver Broncos throwbacks. The blue helmet with the orange jersey, the block D with the Bronco jumping through it. I mean, a gorgeous
Mhm.
uniform.
Love that one. Love that one. Okay, well there we go. Bucks creamsicle. Let's get it. Let's get it. Got that one back. And hold on. Since I got the pick,
That's a pretty cool shirt. That's a pretty
mean,
cool shirt.
come on. Free 99. Free 99. Free 99 at the game. XL2, my size. Here we go. All right, so Bucks creamsicle for me is my second one. And the other one, I'm gonna bring it back around. I'm gonna go with the Tennessee Titans Houston Oilers jerseys. Those are really clean,
That's a
the
good
baby
one.
blue. Love those. It's hilarious that it's actually kind of like their rivals jerseys, but hey, they look great. So I'm gonna go to the Titans/Oilers jerseys.
I'm gonna go with the 1972 Miami Dolphins.
Like that one.
Because what my favorite part about this uniform is on the helmet is the dolphin has a helmet on. That's my favorite part about that uniform.
I do love that. I do love that uniform.
Okay, I didn't think this one would make it back to me, but it did. I'm taking the Bengals whiteout jersey as
Okay.
my next pick. I think that is one of the better looking jerseys in football.
If I'm gonna be completely honest, that's one of my least favorite. I think it looks tacky. I don't love it. But hey, it's your list.
Thanks. Next, I'm gonna take the powder blue Chargers.
I had that one. Actually, never mind. But I like that one. I like that one.
So far, I think I'm killing this list. Next, I want to have the 1994 throwback San Francisco 49ers uniforms. And I'll say this about the
Let me
Niners.
see those. Can you pull that picture up? Can we get a
It's the one with I think they wore them against the Falcons this year.
here we go.
The white
94.
block with like the black behind it. They're quite similar to the Niners uniforms.
yeah,
that
yeah,
wear,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
every week. I think the Niners uniforms are very pretty. I think they look really good just in general. So I was really hoping for the powder blue Chargers right there. I was really hoping for that.
Okay. Patrick Mahomes, breaking news, suffered a torn ACL.
It looked
get
like
go.
it too whenever I
Which-
was watching it live.
Which it seems like Michael Parsons may have done that as well. I don't know if he's still out in this Packers game, but he looked like he got hurt a little bit earlier too. Okay, all right. I'm gonna go with the Patriots red throwback. Love that uniform. Love the old guy on the helmet. The center is basically a center. He looks like he's about to snap the ball. Love that one. The last one, dude, this is tough. I was kind of wanting to like throw in an original, like a modern day in there, but I don't know if it's better than the one I'm gonna go with the Cowboys home throwback, the ones they wore on Thanksgiving.
With the white and blue stripe.
Well, there's that. I guess that
It's like the white with
Yes.
they're on the shoulder pads.
Yes. I love those. Had another one. I'm gonna go with that one. I think that's the right pick. But yeah, that's what the Cowboys Thanksgiving or whatever they want to call it. I guess it's just a throwback home. They always wear white, so whenever they wear something else, it looks nice.
Well, I'm shocked this one got to me. Because in my opinion, I think this might be one of the best uniforms, if not the best uniform in all of the NFL, but I just figured the value I could get it a little bit later. I'm going to go with the Jags throwbacks. The Jags throwbacks are gorgeous. They are so gorgeous. And it's such a shame watching them wear those uniforms last week and then fast forward to this week and then wear the all teals and everything. I will say this, the uniforms they wear now is a step up from the gradient black and gold helmets they used to wear. Like definitely a step up from that, but the throwback Jag uniforms with the leaping jaguar, gorgeous.
I'm not that big of a fan of those. It makes me
Really?
think of Maurice Drew and all them back in the day.
What's wrong with that?
I don't know. It doesn't appeal to my eye.
Fred Taylor? I mean, those teams were good, man.
I'm glad you got them. Caleb, finish us off here.
That was the next one on my list too, but I'm going to pivot and I'm going to go with the Houston Texans all red jerseys.
Oh, okay. Caleb, your list is wild.
Your list is, I don't think I had a single one of yours on my list. if I'm being honest,
your list is nuts. I mean, you have a distinct feel though. Like you want, I don't know what a good word is, but
a little more
all
pop.
black,
I mean,
all
I
white,
just have
all
to,
red.
me being, I struggle with color blindness for those at home for your information.
You're
So
colorblind?
yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
How have I never known this?
I mean, you haven't seen me run a red light yet. That's why.
That
Well,
can't be
how
that
about
hard though. I mean,
No, those are easy. You know, if the top one's lit up, you know what it is.
oh man. Okay. So just to recap, I have throwback Falcons, creamsicle Bucks, Titans / Houston Oilers, Patriots red jerseys, Cowboys. I'm gonna call them Thanksgiving, the ones they wear on Thanksgiving. Jake had the Kelly Green from the Eagles, Denver Broncos throwbacks, which is a great pick. 1972 Dolphins, 1994 Niners, and the Jags throwback.
And I killed that.
Caleb had the retro Seahawks, Lions, all black, Bengals, white out, Chargers, powder blue from San Diego days, and the Houston Texans, all red. We'll be working on that. Love that. That was fun. We'll see you one. Anyone's left over on your list that didn't make it out?
Yes, 100%. The Chicago Bears throwbacks, the ones where their helmets look like they're Michigan, those are very good looking. Very good looking. I like those.
I had the Packers just classic green and yellow uniform.
Mhm.
I wanted to kind of pick that just to have a classic one on there, but I didn't. But I really did. I really do like that one. I also kind of had like the Chargers navy one that they have nowadays. I really like that one.
Yeah, that one looks good.
But you know, I had the Denver one that Jake had on my list. I had the alt green. Caleb, did you have any other leftover ones?
No, I did. I mean, I had the Patriots nor'eastern jerseys that they wore earlier this year.
Yeah.
The kind of like the teal ones, but no, that I did also put Miami's all black jerseys on there. But once somebody else picked the Dolphins jersey, I steered away from that one.
Okay.
Did you have the Saints all black in there?
I did not. I did not.
Okay.
The Saints, what's the one they wore this year that was the gold and black? They looked like Wake Forest or something.
Yeah, that was like week
terrible.
1. They did look a little odd.
Maybe next time we'll do worse jerseys. Okay. Let's get into NFL Week 15 and recap it, though. We already talked about Thursday, so let's get into the Sunday 1 p.m. slate. There was 2 big games in the 1 p.m. slate, and the others were a bunch of nothings. We must start in Foxborough. The Bills came back from down 21-0 to beat the Patriots 35-31. Get a little closer in the AFC East race. Patriots still got a little bit of a hold on it. But Caleb, I mean, this is tough, you know. It seems like you can't lose these types of games in December. You got to be able to win a game where you're up 21 points. What happened?
Well, you give up 5 straight touchdowns on 5 straight drives. So that was kind of like the whole kick in the pants for us. I mean, every single drive in the second half, except for the last one that they got to stop on to get the ball back. And then we went out on downs. They scored. Defense, just the light bulb went off in the middle of the second quarter. Don't know what happened there. And then Drake May, I mean, like Travion Henderson was great, but there's just some situations where he was holding on to the ball a little bit on third downs. We were not able to convert, and pressure did get to him just a little bit. And he's dealt with it all year, and he still played pretty darn good. But look, I thought we would split, to be honest with you. Like every year when I see the Bills on our schedule, I think we're going to win one and lose one, no matter, it don't matter if it's there or here. And I was actually telling somebody today, I'm pretty certain the Bills and us have split like the last 5 years, and every single year we win on the road. Each of us wins on the road. So the trend continues.
Yeah. And it was the Patriots had won 10 games in a row coming into that. The Bills hadn't got swept by a division opponent in a while, so that streak continues. Jake, what were your thoughts?
I have a few. The New England schedules, they're a good team. They're a good team, and they fight hard, and I think they have a good head coach, and they have an okay quarterback that everyone wants to crown as the next Tom Brady. And they're talking about like, oh, the torch has been passed from Tom Brady to Drake May, and talk all this hoopla. Then he goes out 14 for 23, $150, no tuds and a pick. Still hasn't thrown for 300 yards. He's been starting for 2 full seasons. Michael Penix, who everyone dunks on, threw for 300 yards in his 3rd career start. So I just want to throw that out there. Drake May still hasn't. I will say this. One good thing to say about the schedules, Travion Henderson's really good. Travion Henderson's great, and I think the schedules need to hold on to him for quite a while because he is really good. 14 carries, $148. But at the end of the day, it just came down to Josh Allen making a lot of plays. And I will say this. We should have called this. It should have been a mega lock on the Bills because Haley Seinfeld is now pregnant.
Mhm.
So he was feeling good today.
How do you feel about being called the schedules, Caleb?
Well, everybody should be called the schedules, but somehow we've won more games than a lot of people in ours. Everybody, I don't control it. They don't control it. You just show up and play what you got. So if that's the commentary that a Falcons fan has got, I know you had a big win this week. I know you're, high and mighty. Hadn't felt like this in a while. Kirk Cousins is back. Drake May has played at MVP levels all season, and we see one game where they lose by 4 points to the Buffalo Bills, and we're just like, oh, that now they're the schedules, and he's an average guy.
Why? The over 300 yards thing is wild. How does that
I don't
happen?
think he's been asked to do it. I think that's the main thing.
That's
New
crazy.
England never puts him in a situation where he's just airing the ball out. And if he does, like by the end of it, we're handing the ball off to try and get out of the game. Like we're just never like running it up.
Shadur
And even
Sanders
today,
has thrown for over 300 yards already.
well, I think it's because he had to. Like we don't want to do that. I think if Josh McDaniels has his way with a game plan, it's not going to be for him to just turn the ball loose 40 times and throw it downfield like that.
Yeah, I get that. But regardless, he's had like 30 starts now in his career. And to not get it at least once it's kind of crazy. I'm not even trying to say it's a bad thing. It's kind of crazy, though. So, Caleb, off the top of your head, what would you say is Drake May's best game this year?
Probably the Bills game the first time around.
Bills game the first time around. Let's see. That's today's Bills game. Okay, so the best game of MVP Drake May's season was 22 for 30, 270 yards, no touchdowns, no picks.
Won the game though.
Good.
You want the stats thing, that's fine, but he is 11-3.
Did he lose the MVP today?
If the way Matt Stafford's playing right now, he might have.
Trevor
Okay.
Lawrence, 6 touchdowns today. It might be Trevor's MVP. Might be.
All right. The other 1 p.m. game that was actually competitive, the Chargers ended the Chiefs season, and obviously it just ended Patrick Mahomes' season as well. Chargers win 16-13 on the road in Arrowhead. Huge game. They are probably not going to win the AFC West, but they are probably going to make the playoffs now. What a win. Defensive battle. Justin Herbert to keep winning the games with a broken hand after they just played a game on Monday night, so short rest. Chiefs were all in, had to win the game, and the Chiefs are eliminated from the playoffs. Unfortunate for Jake, but the Chargers
Come
just
on.
keep winning. I was acting like you did not say you wanted them to make the playoffs.
Listen. You know what I was saying? I was saying if they made it, I wasn't going to be like, damn it, the Chiefs again, whatever. But I'm not upset that they got eliminated. If anything, I'm kind of happy they got eliminated. I am a little bummed out that Patrick Mahomes towards ACL. That does stink. Listen,
root for
Deep Shot Sports, we don't root for injuries every year, okay? And then, think about the recovery. Probably about a year. He's definitely not going to be ready for week 1. He might be ready for week 4 or something. So, I think the Chiefs sold their soul for last season. All those games that they won that they should not have won, and being able to get to the Super Bowl. And the Super Bowl went south, but they won a lot of games they were not supposed to. And I think that was due to the devil black magic that they were doing underneath the stadium with Taylor Swift. That's that. The Chargers look good, man. The Chargers keep on fighting. I think getting Amari and Hampton back is good for them. The other run game has looked a little bit better the last few weeks. Kimani Vidal Vidal.
Yeah, one of those.
Sounds right.
Vidal, he's good, but Amarian Hampton's the real freaking deal. And I really hate that he missed a lot of the games for my dynasty team. But I think the Chargers are in a really good situation to compete. Now they just have to worry about the Broncos, who just got a big win. But the Broncos have a big game next week against the Jags. So if the Jags can beat the Broncos next week and the Chargers win, they're right back in it for the AFC West. Right back in it.
Yeah. Everybody wants to talk about the Chiefs like playoff run being done. I think it was a day to give them flowers for what they have accomplished because, yeah, I mean, it kind of went south in the worst way. Like Mahomes is the tie ball game at the end of the game, or like he's down 3 late and he's trying to rally, and that's when he gets hurt, and then Minshew comes in and throws a pick right after it. 11 straight years of making the playoffs is pretty incredible, and however many AFC championships in a row is pretty incredible. It was a great run, and I don't want to say the dynasty's over. I don't want to be the person that gets that clip. I just wonder if Andy Reid, how much longer he's going to keep doing this. And I wonder that before even the game started, whether or not they won or lost.
How old is he?
He's been around for a while. I mean, you got to think he was coaching the Philadelphia Eagles in like 2004.
67. He's 67.
Hey.
He's 67.
But my thing also with that, like he's 67, he's not young. He's made as much money as he can spend, and he's accomplished everything. There is nothing left for that man to accomplish. I've said it on this podcast before, but one thing we got to understand with like these professional athletes and professional coaches, like they are wired so differently than just like normal human beings. So like, while it's easy for us to say, yeah, he should retire, it's going to be hard for him to do that. So we'll see. But I'm with you, Caleb. I wouldn't be shocked. Because of how they've fallen apart and that contract that they're now paying Mahomes, we've seen in real time that roster just be depleted around him, which we all knew was going to happen. I don't. This is not like a team that you can look at and be like, oh, they just need to like correct 1 or 2 things and boom, they'll be right back in the Super Bowl next year.
Yeah,
It's
I mean,
just not like that.
I mean, I think I heard they were like over 30 million over the cap. Not to mention they have no run game, so it's probably been a lot harder on Patrick Mahomes this season than it's ever been. The receivers drop all the passes. The defense has gotten a lot worse. But credit to the Chargers. How about them? I mean, they had 2 games where it definitely didn't seem like they were even the better team for the most part, and they still come away with a win. Rest of the 1 p.m. slate, rough. The Bears beat the Browns 31-3 today. Brutal, but good for the Bears. They needed that win to stay ahead. The Ravens beat the Bengals 24-0. Tough day for Joe Burrow after that interview he had this past week.
Mm-hmm.
Which you guys are quarterbacks. What did you? What quarterback feel did you get there from his press conference the other day?
I don't even know how to answer that question because it's like it was odd. Like it seemed like he wanted to retire. Like there were some people saying like, interpreting it as he wants out of Cincinnati. I kind of heard it like he wants out of football and he just wants to be done, like an Andrew Luck type thing. I don't know. I'll say this, man. If I'm a Bengals fan, if I'm a Bengals in the Bengals ownership front office, whatever, like that is just not what you want to hear at all. And he's been banged up a lot. Like since they went to the Super Bowl, just about every year he's been hurt. And he's already won comeback player of the year once. Obviously, this year getting hurt again, rushing through his progression to get back. I don't know. It's bad. He's not healthy and it's showing.
No, not at all. It sounded like a hurt quarterback to me. And just like Jake said, it sounded Andrew Luckish. I don't know if he's mentally the kind of person to just give up on football. I don't think that's where he's going to go. However, I don't blame him for wanting to maybe want to play somewhere else because that franchise doesn't treat the right people the right way. Like he's probably, him and Jamar are probably the only 2 people in the building that are like treated with the absolute utmost respect. And like their deals were never like too much of a hang up to get done, compared to how they treated Hendrickson and all the other guys over their last 5 years history. I mean, you go look at it, how many free agents that they had there that were there for years and they just didn't take care of them, let them walk. They're just like, we're not paying you. It would be a better situation. I mean, also too, when you're playing at an MVP level constantly, like year in, year out, when you're in there, you're the probably 3 or 4 best quarterbacks in the NFL. And you go 9-8 or 4-10, or, I mean, it's just you playing hero ball in order for your team to be competitive. It probably gets draining at some point.
Yeah.
It has to be. And especially like with the success he found. I mean, like you remember back in the day when he owned Patrick Mahomes, they're calling Arrowhead Burrowhead and they were rolling. He's going to the Super Bowl in his 2nd year in the NFL.
Did you guys know that this is crazy. Actually, the other day, me and Chelsea were in the car, and she asked me, she was like, "Has anybody ever been the number one pick and then gone to the Super Bowl the same year?" I was like,
Yeah, Joe Montana. No, not Joe
no,
Montana.
no,
Yes, but there is one.
I don't think there is.
There is the Dolphins quarterback, who he lost in his rookie year, and he
Brian
never went
Greasy?
back. No.
Well, either way, I was gonna
Dan Marino went to the Super Bowl his rookie year in the NFL, lost it.
when he was the number one pick.
Well, I didn't hear that part.
Yeah, so you have to be the number one pick in the NFL and then go to the Super Bowl the same year. I looked, and so we looked that up. No, it hasn't. No matter even to what Jake said. So sorry if we didn't.
No,
But anyway, Joe Burrow was the quickest to do that, and it was in 2 seasons. So, I mean, to go from that to what we're doing now, sad. Now, the game, on the other hand, Ravens, good job. They needed a game like that. Them and the Steelers, it seems like it's just going to come down to them for that final spot in the playoffs or final home game in the AFC, where it seems like the Ravens or the Steelers are going to be hosting a team with a way better record than them. Okay, the Commanders beat the Giants in a nothing bowl. The Eagles beat the Raiders 31-0 in a get-right game. Jags smoke the Jets 48-20. And the Jags may be the best team in the AFC right now.
Yeah. I mean, if you listen to my Instagram reel post I put up earlier, I think they are. This team is
5 wins in a row,
boys. 5 wins in a row. 4 of the last 5, Trevor Lawrence has not played in the fourth quarter. Or if he did play, it was like a drive. Not because he was hurt, not because he was benched, because they are beating a professional football team so bad that he didn't have to play. Trevor Lawrence had 6 touchdowns in barely over 3 quarters today. You want to know something else? Trevor Lawrence is the only quarterback in NFL history to have 5 passing touchdowns, over 300 passing yards, a rushing touchdown, and 50 or more rushing yards. The only quarterback in NFL history. Statistically, today was one of the best played quarterback games of all time. He's rolling, man. Liam Cohen has him. Liam Cohen, I'll also say this. I know last week I was like, Liam Cohen might be in the conversation for Coach of the Year. Liam Cohen is the Coach of the Year. It's like the first 10-win team that the Jags have had since like 2017, I think was what they said it was. Like since we were in high school.
Really? The one when they went a couple years ago, they weren't a 2-win team?
Hold on, let me see.
Oh, Blake Bortles.
Today.
They went to a couple years ago when they played the Chiefs. They weren't a 10-win team then?
No.
Wow. How about that, dude? I love the Jags right now. I mean, first
2017.
of all, 2017, yeah, with Blake Bortles. That was like, freshman year of college. I remember that was when he won the AFC Championship.
Yep.
That's crazy. Caleb, I mean, what do you think about the Jags? I mean, do you think Liam Cohen should be the Coach of the Year?
I think that's well deserved at this point. I mean, he's done a good enough job this year. I just love how a team goes on a 5-game win streak and they're now the best team in the NFL. But if a team goes on a 10-game win streak, which is double that, and then they lose one game, now everything's just average. We're back to normal.
Did you look at the schedule?
No, it's just everybody plays NFL players every week.
No, this was a different. Did they beat Brady Cook? Oh man, no. But the Jags have won 5 games in a row. Those 5 games against the Chargers, Cardinals, Titans, Colts, and Jets. I mean, those are some of the best teams in the NFL right there. So, not to mention the Raiders a couple weeks before that. So,
are they the Jacksonville schedules?
No, the Jags are good, man. I'm telling you, Jags good. There's something different going on. And I'll say this, too, about Liam Cohen. I feel like every single head coach that's been in Jacksonville since Trevor got to town was, like, not scared of him, but they were coaching him kind of weak. Just like, you know what I mean? Like, not trying to demand.
Urban Meyer definitely was giving that guy some problems.
Oh, yeah, 100%. But y'all remember early in the season when the Jags were on the road in Cincinnati and they lost, and it was, like, super disappointing. And the whole storyline was like Liam Cohen and Trevor Lawrence were like yelling at each other and like getting in it. Do y'all remember that?
Yep.
Yeah, I remember that. And I remember people were like, "Oh, dude, what is Liam Cohen doing? Like he's out of his range. Like he doesn't know what he's doing." I think he was just lighting a fire under Trevor's ass, and finally having somebody do it has gotten the most out of Trevor. Also, I talked about it last week. Jacoby Myers. I did not realize Jacoby Myers would have made as big of a difference as he has, but he absolutely has. He's been arguably the Jags' best wide receivers since they got him at the deadline, and he's opened so much up for him. Travis Etienne had 2 touchdowns today. They're running the ball well. They're throwing the ball well. Their defense, the second most turnovers in the league. It's a good squad. It's a good squad.
Another good squad is the Houston Texans. They beat the Cardinals
Very
today
good squad.
40-20. They've won 6 games in a row. They have one of the best defenses in the league. It is the AFC South. Colts lost to the Seahawks. We'll talk about that in a second. Phillip Rivers comeback game. But the Colts and the Jags and Texans, they've already played twice. They both beat each other once. So I'm not sure how the tiebreakers
The
work.
Texans would have the tiebreaker.
Okay. So it's a tight race in the AFC South. Indeed, a 2-team race at this point.
Yeah, the Texans look damn good. And, like, honestly, like, the Jags are just blessed that they started as slow as they did, because now that the Texans' offense is finally clicking, they're a dang good team. They're a dang good team. It's scary. It's scary. Their edges that they have and their whole defense just in like a total aspect is pretty dang good. Pretty dang good.
Yeah, defense travels. I mean, we talked about it last week, and once you got the offense clicking, the Texans thought that they would be, formidable contender in the NFL, and you're kind of seeing it week by week. They're getting better too as this thing's going on. It's not like they've just like found it and it's plateauing off. No, it's improving. I mean, they put up 40 points today, and if we talked in week 2 or week 3, we didn't think they'd probably ever score over 20 for the whole season.
And I'll say the scariest thing as a Jags fan is their last 3 games to finish out the season. Home against the Raiders, at the Chargers, home against the Colts, which the Colts with Phillip Rivers. So I think at worst they get 2-1 in that stretch. And if they beat the Chargers in LA and they win out and they're sitting at 12-5, Jags better hold on. Jags gotta win next week in Denver. Like if they drop that one and the Texans win out, bang, it's the Texans division.
It'll be interesting. The AFC South, who would have thought it'd be this exciting? Let's just talk about it then. The Colts just played the Seahawks. Heartbreaking loss. Phillip Rivers did everything he could to try to win this game. Just want to say it was a pleasure getting to see him. He looked so big. That's all I'll say. He looked very large on the field, still tall, but didn't look like he fit the uniform real well.
He's a little thick.
But he 120 yards, 18 for 27, and they lose on a last-second field goal. He got them down to a situation where they took the lead, and then the Seahawks got it back down and did what they do. That's why they're 11-3. But the Colts, man, do we even think that? Okay, now they're 8-6. They're technically still in it, but I mean, are we going to see Phillip Rivers again next week?
I think so.
Yeah, I think he played good enough. It's not like he lit the world on fire, but I mean, he has been out of the league for 5 years. Like I caught myself thinking that we were lived in a Disney movie at some points and being like, oh, he's gonna go for 250 and a couple tuds and like he's gonna lead this, that, and the other. He played fine. His one interception was a garbage time pick, but I think he'll be back next week. And if they lose again next week, then it might be now the playoffs are looking pretty thin. Go back to your grandkids.
And play the young guy, too, if he's healthy.
True. Yeah.
I mean, also, too, they're kind of up against the injury report. I mean, because maybe AR is able to come back at some point this season, then they can discard Phillip Rivers. But I think until that happens, I think he's going to be the quarterback. They'd rather see him out there than Riley Leonard.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Seahawks again get another big one. And Smith and Jigba, another 100-plus yard game for him.
Yep. Big day for the kicker for Seattle as well. 6 field goals. That's how they won this.
Didn't score a touchdown. How about that? Okay. Other 4:00 games. 49ers beating the Titans. Surprise, surprise. 37-24. Saints beat the Panthers 20-17. The Saints have beaten the Bucs and the Panthers in back-to-back weeks, which has set up the Bucs and the Panthers to both be 7-7. And the Bucs and the Panthers are both going to play each other twice in the last 3 weeks of the season. And the NFC South and the Falcons are already eliminated from the playoffs at 5-9. But the Saints, man, Tyler, is it Show, however you say it? I mean, ever since he started playing, the Saints have been a lot better. I mean, you got to think they started the season like, hold on, let me pull it up. Yeah. Okay, so they started the season 1-8, and then they've beaten the Panthers both times they played them this year. And Tyler Shaw, I'm pretty sure his first game was either against the Panthers or it was against the Rams. Hold on, I'm pulling this up. Sorry. Okay, yeah. His first game was against the LA Rams on the road in whatever week, right? They were 1-7 when he took over as quarterback. Since then, they lost to the Rams, they beat the Panthers, lost to the Falcons, lost to the Dolphins, beat the Bucs, beat the Panthers. So he is 3-3 as a quarterback.
Much improved from what Spencer Rattler was bringing to the table at the beginning of the year.
Yeah, I mean, Spencer Rattler has only got like one career win ever in like 15 tries. Tyler Shucks got 3. And I mean, did you guys see the stat that the Panthers haven't won as a favorite in like forever?
Yeah, that not shocking. But this result was genuinely shocking because the Panthers just can't decide if they want to be a halfway decent team or not. Because we'll see the Panthers look like a competent bunch, and then the next week they'll lose to the Saints. And like I know we're saying all this about Chubb being Chuck or being 3-3 and all that, but let's not make a mistake. This is not a great football team. It's not a great football team. The Panthers should have won this game. Should have won this game. Ted McMillan had a pretty bad drop going into the end zone today. That probably would have been the difference. The NFC South is as up for grabs as any division in the history of professional sports. And the Falcons got eliminated from the playoffs in week 13, 14. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. Good for the Saints, though, I guess. Nobody wants to win the NFC South. And the fact that an NFC South team is going to get a home playoff game is disgusting because whoever it is going to lose because none of them are good. Like the last few years, there's been 3 terrible teams in the NFC South and 1 good team, and it was the Bucs. The Bucs aren't even good anymore. Someone's going to get absolutely the blessing of the century by being able to go on the road to the Bucs or the Panthers in the first round.
Until they pull off the Seattle Seahawks. What was that? 2009, 2010 was that?
Yeah,
the Marshawn Lynch run.
The earthquake.
Yeah. Caleb, any thoughts on the Panthers-Saints game?
It's just stunning to me that the Panthers want to, at this point in the season, get lazy and lose games to teams that have nothing to play for. I mean, 8-6 would have been sitting in the catbird seat, like what Jake talked about, for them to make the playoffs and be serious. But Bryce Young could only beat the Falcons, I guess. I don't understand what the deal is.
All right. Rams beat the Lions 41-34. Another big game. We talked about it in the previews last episode. High scoring offenses. Matt Stafford, Jared Goff ball, whatever you want to call it. It lived up to the hype. I mean, 75 total points, bunch of touchdowns. Puka Nacua with over 180 yards. Matt Stafford with another 360 through the air. It's just the Lions defense proves again that they cannot keep up and get stops when they need to. And the Rams are 11-3. Hit them and the Seahawks both 11-3. And that's whoever. Here's what we just talked about. The Seahawks or the Rams are going to get to go play the Panthers or the Bucs in round 1.
And it's going to be bad. 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 When do the Rams and the Seahawks play again? They play again this season. Next week. Thursday. They play Thursday. They play in 4 days.
It's about as good as a Thursday night game as we've had all year.
Yeah.
It's last Thursday. It was great. Rams Lions, though.
Well, we talked about last week. I guess Matt Stafford finally gets the Detroit Lions monkey off his back. So now has Matt Stafford beaten all 32 teams in the NFL? Do we know that?
Let's look it up.
I wonder. But yeah, the Rams has continued to be a buzzsaw. Their offense is just so good. But Puka Nacua got hurt in this game, and Devontae Adams got hurt in this game. Something to keep an eye on.
Playoffs too.
Yeah, huge. So just keep your eye on that. If you lose both your wide receiver 1 and wide receiver 2 in a game, that is, for the listeners at home, that if they're not sure about it, that's not good.
He's beaten 31 teams. Steelers are the only one he hasn't beaten. So I think he had already beaten the Lions based on this. But either way, no, he is not. All right. And then the Broncos beat the Packers 34-26. Hold on. Let me check. Is their win streak at 11 right now? Is that what they just hit today?
The Broncos? Let's see.
Some slow Wi-Fi here.
I'm clicking out on the iPad as quick as.
Yes, it is.
Yep,
the 11th. It is the 11th win in a row for the Denver Broncos. Only elite teams can keep an 11-game win streak.
Yeah. Can get 10. 10 is easy. 11 is tough. And I'll say this, I'm finally going to put my respect on the Denver Broncos because, we covered this last week. I'm not the biggest fan of 11-2 teams, but when you get to 12-2, that is undeniable. That is, okay, this team is serious. And, I joke a little bit, but the Broncos defense has never been a question for us, but their offense really came through today. So next, threw for over 300 yards, which is, we've already covered, is in very, very difficult to do in the NFL. And he had 4 touchdowns. Run game's going to go in RJ Harvey, the rookie. We got 65 yards. So good to see for the Broncos. But I know I talked about it earlier. But this sets up a huge matchup next week with the Jags. Huge. They could be a potential 1 seed on the line.
Yep. Jake talked about how this was going to be a QB game, I think, in the preview to this. When we were picking it, and Bo Nix won that battle. I did not expect that to happen. I thought if they were going to do anything for the Denver Broncos to win, it was going to be them to be playing a lot better on defense. So they still Gave up a good bit of points and a good bit of yards in the air, but it wasn't enough to overcome. Green Bay, the turnovers came back and bit them in the end.
Yeah, Pat Surtain had an awesome interception in this game. If you haven't seen it, awesome pick, like diving. It was pretty cool.
Also, Michael Parsons believed to have a torn ACL, so not a good news. I was actually watching the play when it happened. Tough, man. Packers make that trade, lose to, what was it, 2 first-round picks for this. I mean, team's looking great, and really needed a good defense and pass rush in the playoffs to make big plays, and that is unfortunate. Just hate to see it. We don't root for injuries. I think Christian Watson went down for the Packers today too.
I mean, that man Christian Watson is made of glass at this point.
Yeah, no. Wait, yeah, it was so Christian Watson was hurt on the play that Pat Surtain intercepted. I think Pat Surtain injured him and then broke his glass, as you were saying. Okay, well, that'll wrap up our recap of NFL Week 15. I want to ask you guys real quick. Give me your 3 favorites to win a Super Bowl right now.
Oh, 3 favorites in the Super Bowl. 3 in the NFC, 3 in the AFC, or just 3 overall?
Just 3 overall.
I would say the Rams.
Or you can do 3 each. Do 3 each.
No.
Or give me a Super Bowl matchup. Give me a Super Bowl
I think Rams, Jaguars. Rams, Jags. Rams, Jags. I think I need a
Jags.
Rams
Rematch
Jags.
of London game earlier this year.
Which hopefully it goes differently. Hopefully it goes different.
Caleb.
I'm going to say Rams Texans would be the one that I would point to right now. I just think Houston's going to get hot enough and the defense will travel once again in the playoffs.
I'm going to go Rams Bills. I'm going to go Caleb's preseason prediction right now. I'm still believing in Josh Allen, especially look, the ghost of Patrick Mahomes is gone now officially. All right, and I think Josh Allen's going to find his way there. Yeah, but I think we can all agree. We think the Rams are probably the best team in the NFC, probably the NFL.
Yeah, I would agree, but just keep your eye on the Eagles because the Eagles kind of got their mojo back going today. A.J. Brown's been going. He's had like 3 straight 100.
The Raiders.
Games. Yeah.
I mean, Jalen Hurts threw 15 passes, 175 yards. I'm sure I don't know. I don't know what happened in that game at all, but they did win 31-0. So let's see. We'll see. Okay. So our players of the week and deep thoughts before we get out of here. Jake called dibs on player of the week. I figure we probably know where he's going. By the way, I won Puka won last week. So the standings are tied at 5. Everyone has 5. So this is a big stretch coming up.
I wouldn't say I initially called first, but I did do some digging and I did go third, I think, in the last 2 player of the weeks. Okay. So I was like, okay, well, I can't get back 3 straight times.
What happens when you win?
True, but I didn't win this time. So for player of the week this week, Thursday Night Football, I was quite certain on where I wanted to go for player of the week. It's quite certain until the 1 o'clock game today. I've been battling in my head which one I wanted to go with, but I'm going to go with Trevor Lawrence. 20 for 32, 330 yards, 5 touchdowns, 0 picks, a rushing touchdown, and 51 yards on the ground. In my opinion, I think it's the best quarterback performance we've seen this entire season. I think it's one of the best statistical performances we've seen in a very, very, very long time. We've told on this podcast multiple times today how hard it is to throw for 300 yards. He threw for 330 yards and rushed for 50, 6 touchdowns. That is your player of the week. As much as I wanted to give to that other guy, Trevor was your player of the week this week.
All right, Caleb, I'll let you go second since I won last week.
All right, that was pretty good. I'm going to poke a little fun at the fan base here. I'm taking Kirk Cousins as my player of the week. 30 for 44,
awesome.
3 touchdowns. Some would say the Falcons have a quarterback. I'm picking this guy to win player of the week because he balled out. I mean, he played just about as good as, other than Trevor Lawrence, any other quarterback that was available this week for fantasy.
Mm-hmm. You did.
Well, I'll say this. I didn't see this coming.
Kyle Pitts is wide open.
Kyle Pitts will be my player of the week. I don't care how it looks on a graphic. First of all, if Kyle Pitts is not the NFC Offensive Player of the Week by the official NFL Instagram this week, I don't know who's going to win it. 11 catches, 166 yards, 3 touchdowns. I mean, the guy made himself a check on Thursday night. And I definitely expected him to be picked. I'm just going to take him. I know we're going to have 2 Falcons on there. I don't really care though. Didn't see that coming, so I'm going to be going with Kyle Pitts, player of the week. It's going to be a good race. That should be a close race right there. We haven't had a really close race. Oh, we kind of did last week. That should be a fun one there. All right, let's do our deep thoughts before we get out of here. Are you guys rumbling to do yours first?
You can do yours.
Okay. My deep thought of the week is going to be this past I think it was Thursday night, they came out with the SEC football schedules for 2026. And big news is obviously they're all moving to 9 games, which I think we've talked about that on this season at some point. They've got the annual opponents, 3 annual opponents, and I think those switch every 4 years or so. But the biggest thing to me that I noticed is we've only got 1 bye week next season in the SEC, which I'm assuming all of college football will only have 1 bye week, but I don't know. I was seeing apparently Big Ten may have 2. I don't know. I don't know how that would work though. But anyway, 9-game schedule, bye week, and 1 bye week, or 9-game conference schedule, 1 bye week. Insane. Also, like teams, there was the rule that every SEC team has to play a non-Power 4 or a Power 4 non-conference opponent. And, like Georgia has Georgia Tech, the Florida States, South Carolina Clemson's, those are already scheduled. So a lot of these things are getting canceled. Georgia and Louisville canceled their schedule, their home and home the other day. But we've got some fun matchups coming up this upcoming season. Just on the Georgia end, real quick, Georgia is going to be playing Oklahoma at home this season. Or next season. That'll be fun. Vandy's coming in. We'll see the Jared Curtis Bowl. That'll be a fun one. Going back to Alabama, going to South Carolina in week 12. That'll be fun. Obviously got the Florida game in Atlanta. Gotta love playing Florida and Atlanta. That'll be a fun one. If you're looking for some week 1 matchups next year, LSU and Clemson are playing. That'll be Lane Kiffin's first game. That's about the only noticeable. Auburn's playing Baylor and Atlanta. Alabama, just looking at their schedule, they've still got to play Florida State in week 3 next year. They got to play South Carolina. They got to go to Tennessee. They got to go to Vandy. Anyway, big NFL or SEC schedule. NFL, SEC, basically the same thing. They play big boy football. But Caleb, let's look at your schedule real quick. FAU, and then I don't even recognize his second logo right here.
Is it Long Island University again?
Maybe, I don't know.
I don't think
I
we're
can't.
playing Long Island.
I don't remember. I can't recognize that logo at all. You got to go to Auburn in week 3. Got Ole Miss at home. The battle for 2 teams that don't have Lane Kiffin anymore. I got to go to Texas. You got Oklahoma coming into the swamp. Got to go to Vandy. How do you feel about your schedule, Caleb?
I mean, it's about a little bit of a relief to me compared to what we've been dealing with the last couple of years. You don't see Miami on the schedule anymore. You don't see us having to go through, a gauntlet of games over a certain period of time. We get Oklahoma at home. You do have to go to Texas again. Look, I think it's opportunity for John Summerall to make his name in the SEC first season. I do not like the 9-game schedule thing. Your deep thought about the bye situation to me makes a lot of sense. I think it's going to show up when a lot of these teams are going to be banged up and injured. I mean, we just watched Bama and Georgia in the SEC championship game. They had there's probably 25 players on the injury list, and something that some people in the business have pointed out, which is true and firsthand experience from a football team perspective, half of your injury list is not actually on your injury list. They just aren't banged up enough to tell you that they need to be marked as something or ruled as something before the game. So it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough for anybody to make it through a full 9-game SEC schedule.
Yeah. And Kirby Smart mentioned exactly what you were talking about in his post game. He was complaining about the 9-game schedule. Just so everybody knows, Tennessee has got to play at Georgia Tech next year, and they got to play Kennesaw State. So that's a back-to-back game stretch. Tennessee, Texas, that looks like a fun one. Oklahoma's playing at Michigan again next year. Texas is welcoming Ohio State in week 2. Just some fun ones, the SEC schedule. It's just wild seeing 9 conference games, and obviously how that's going to be impacted. So,
was there any? I didn't really catch the schedule release, but were there any notable big game crossovers? I mean, I know we've kind of a year or 2 into this thing now, so there's not much pop. Is Bama playing Texas or anything, or I know LSU is having to go to Ole Miss.
So
that's
Bama's
probably the one.
Bama's not playing Texas or Oklahoma next year, which is pretty interesting. They're playing A&M. They got A&M at home. They're going to Vandy. They got LSU. They got Georgia. And then you look at Texas' schedule. They got at Tennessee, obviously Oklahoma, Florida, Ole Miss, Mississippi State, Missouri, LSU, Arkansas, A&M. I just feel like with the 9-game schedule, you're not the Missouri schedule of this year, or the soft SEC schedules like Texas last year. Everybody talked about that soft schedule they had. I feel like you're not going to get that in these 9-game schedules now. There's no way you're just going to be able to dodge really good teams. In my opinion, I don't really see that happening.
Yeah. My deep thought this week is going to be in relation to my team this afternoon that played the New England Patriots. Was a very
that played the New England. You're a Bills fan?
There's a comment there. I guess you did. Subtitles on. Visually appealing to see a game with some snow, and I just want to say that sometimes we like Mercedes-Benz Stadium, we like SoFi, those stadiums are cool. But a little snow game, I think, gets the people going a little bit more. We've seen it a lot more here recently, like some of those FCS playoff games. If you guys have been tuning into that, like some of those on Saturday, Montana State had a little snow, New England had a little snow, Cleveland's had some snow at certain points, Buffalo has. I could understand if people want to play indoor games or championships, Super Bowls indoors, just for like the fan experience and all that stuff, right? But something to be said for having a snow game in the middle of December for your team to be playing football in that, and whether you're wearing the home colors or the away, it's scenic.
Yeah, no, I agree. It looks awesome. I mean, the Michigan Ohio State game a couple weeks ago where it started snowing like towards the end of it, I thought that was cool. I didn't get a chance to see your game. I was obviously on the road all day. But I will say snow games, like, they look awesome. I feel like if I was a fan, depending on like how cold it was, like I always think about like going to Lambeau and the scenic that would be in like a playoff game. It's snowing, but I also feel like, dude, how that cannot be fun. I don't know
Would
that.
be miserable.
Like your
What
buddy,
a
you had a buddy that went to was it snowing where your friend went today, Jake, in Chicago?
So it wasn't snowing, but like the wind chill was like -20 or something like insane. Like
Mm.
I'm good. I'm good. I'm all for. I agree with you, Caleb. I love seeing it on TV. Like there was some snow pushed against the walls at MetLife today, and I was like, man, that's cool. Like it's actually Christmas. No desire to be involved in that in the absolute slightest at
Mm.
all. But it
Mm.
looks cool. For my deep thought of the week, I'm gonna be taking a little bit of a jab at a guy who I think he did. Did Shadur win Player of the Week for us?
No.
It was Shadur coming off a really good game. Played a little bit of a stinker today. If y'all got a chance to look at it, 18 for 35, a buck 77, and 3 picks, and he was probably worse than that. I know that we got into the second half. At one point, he was like 6 for 20 or something, and like every single one of his completions were just absolute bombs. So I just want to revisit another guy that we've dunked on. It's Caleb Williams, because Caleb Williams is continuing to play a really good season. And just looking at two guys with the national media, I know they're kind of warming up on Caleb a little bit, but seeing that Caleb Williams is really playing a good season, and then ESPN's golden child of Shadur Sanders. After last week, I mean, my goodness, if you turned on ESPN, they were talking about his 300 yards he had last week. I mean, 300 yards, like we said, is really tough to get to. They have been doing tricks on it all week, doing absolute tricks on it, and I was a little happy to see him fall back to earth this week. So my deep thought basically is maybe we were right about Shadur Sanders, and maybe he wasn't supposed to be a first-round pick.
Yeah, no, probably not. It'll be interesting. The Browns in general, just are a bad team, and I will say that seemed like a game that was, this, like you said, Shadur was coming off the big one, and the Bears had come off that, kind of heartbreaking loss to the Packers. Seemed like a good situation, but
I
yeah,
had eyes on it. I had my eyes on this being a potential upset. I did.
3 interceptions for Shadur. Perfect timing. Perfect timing.
Perfect timing.
All right.
Perfect.
Well, that will wrap up episode 37. Our next episode, we're going to be talking about the first round of the college football playoffs. Those are coming up. We're going to preview NFL Week 16. It is going to be an awesome episode. Again, make sure you are subscribed on the podcast on Apple and Spotify. Also, subscribe for videos on YouTube. Follow us on Instagram and TikTok. We'll see you guys in a couple days. Deep Shot out.